Far from the gilded halls of Egypt, where he was once a prince, Moses now leads a simpler life. A shepherd in the vast, quiet wilderness of Midian, his days are measured by the rising and setting of the sun. The desert wind whispers tales of sand and time as he guides the flock belonging to Jethro, his father-in-law. His wife, Zipporah, often watches from a distance, a silent guardian as Moses, staff in hand, moves with the quiet grace of a man who has found peace in solitude. Their son, Gershom, plays nearby, his laughter echoing in the open space, a joyful sound in the immense silence. One day, seeking fresh pastures, Moses leads the sheep towards the foot of Mount Horeb. The mountain looms against the brilliant blue sky, a silent, stony giant. The air is still, the world is quiet, save for the gentle bleating of the flock. Then Moses sees it, a flicker of light, unnatural and mesmerizing, dancing among the rocks. He halts, his eyes fixed on the spectacle. A bush is ablaze, engulfed in a fire so bright it hurts to look at, yet not a single leaf, not a single twig, is consumed by the flames. The fire burns with an otherworldly light, painting the desert stones in hues of gold and crimson. Moses shields his eyes, his shepherd's curiosity piqued. "What is this?" he whispers to himself, a bush on fire, but it does not burn up. "I must go closer. I must understand this strange sight." He takes a step forward, his heart beginning to beat a little faster, drawn by a force he cannot name. But as he approaches, a voice, deep and powerful, resonates from the heart of the fire, calling his name not once, but twice. "Moses! Moses!" Startled, every muscle in his body tenses. He looks around, but there is no one. The voice came from the fire. With a sense of awe and trepidation, he answers, his own voice barely a whisper in the vastness. "Here I am." The voice from the flame commands, its tone both gentle and absolute. "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Moses freezes. A tremor runs through him, a feeling of profound reverence and fear. Slowly, he stoops and unlaces his dusty sandals, his hands trembling as he places them on the ground. He feels the sacredness of the earth beneath his bare feet. The voice speaks again, its words echoing with the weight of generations. "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob." At this revelation, a wave of overwhelming awe crashes over Moses. This is not just a spirit of the mountain, this is the God of his ancestors. Overcome, he pulls his cloak over his head, hiding his face, for he is afraid to look directly upon God. The light from the bush intensifies, pulsing with divine energy as God continues to speak. "I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries of anguish under the tyranny of Pharaoh. I know their pain, and I have come down to deliver them from this bondage." The words hang in the air, filled with compassion and power. Then the divine focus shifts directly to the trembling shepherd. "Now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh. You will bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." The command is clear, monumental, and utterly terrifying. Moses, the humble shepherd, the exile, is to confront the most powerful man on earth. He bows low, his face still hidden, his voice cracking with doubt. "Who am I? Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh? Who am I to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt?" God's answer is not a list of Moses' qualifications, but a simple, all-encompassing promise. "I will be with you." The assurance is absolute. "And this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will all worship me on this very mountain." Still Moses hesitates, his mind racing with the practicalities of such an impossible task. "But when I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' what shall I tell them?" The voice from the fire responds with a name that transcends all names, a declaration of eternal existence that shakes the very foundations of the mountain. "I am who I am." The sound is like thunder and wind combined, a name of pure being. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. "I am has sent me to you." Moses trembles before the holiness of this name, a name that brings both profound fear and a strange deep peace to his soul. To bolster his wavering faith, God gives him signs. What is that in your hand? God asks. A staff, Moses replies. Throw it on the ground. Moses obeys, and the moment the wooden staff touches the dust, it transforms, writhing and hissing. It has become a serpent. Moses leaps back in terror. Now, God commands, reach out your hand and take it by the tail. With a heart pounding against his ribs, his hand shaking, Moses reaches for the snake. The instant his fingers close around its tail, it becomes a solid, familiar staff once more. God is not finished. Now put your hand inside your cloak. Moses slips his hand into the folds of his garment. Now take it out. He pulls his hand out, and his breath catches in his throat. It is covered in white scales, afflicted with leprosy. A gasp escapes his lips. Put your hand back into your cloak. God instructs calmly. He obeys, and when he withdraws it a second time, it is as healthy and whole as his other hand. God's voice is reassuring. If they do not believe you or pay attention to the first sign, they may believe the second. But if they still do not believe, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground. The signs are powerful, undeniable. Yet Moses' own insecurity remains his biggest obstacle. He pleads, his voice filled with desperation. "O Lord, please forgive me, but I have never been eloquent. I am not a man of words. I am slow of speech and tongue." God's response is firm, a reminder of his own sovereignty. Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. Even with this divine promise, Moses is overwhelmed. He makes one last, desperate plea. "O Lord, please, I beg you, send someone else." At this, the flames of the bush roar, and Moses can feel God's patience wearing thin. The divine voice is stern. "Is there not your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. In fact, he is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will be your spokesman to the people." Finally, Moses submits. The fire subsides, the voice falls silent, but the divine presence lingers. He returns to Jethro's camp, his eyes still reflecting the unearthly fire he witnessed. He approaches his father-in-law. "Please let me go back to my own people in Egypt to see if they are still alive." Jethro, a wise man, sees the change in Moses and nods with understanding. Zipporah gathers their belongings, her heart full of both hope and fear for the journey ahead. Moses picks up his staff, no longer just a shepherd's tool, but now the rod of God. He leads his family out into the twilight, toward the land of Egypt. Looking back one last time, he sees Mount Horeb, a dark silhouette against the fading light, and whispers to the wind, "I will obey." The journey had begun. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that explores these timeless narratives. We'll see you in the next one.